What do you want to say?
I was talking to the guard, I was talking to the lieutenant. I was trying to talk to him and get that thrown out. They ain't find it on me.
No, they found it in your bed.
Oh, it wasn't.
Okay. What about the other 16 pages? What about telling the officers, I don't have to do shit? What about telling the officers, I don't give a F about none of that? What about that? Is that you? Over and over and over? If you don't give a shit, then why should we? Do you understand what I'm saying?
No.
You want to spend your life in prison?
No.
Because that's what you're asking for. It's no behavior for me to go, oh, let's just put him on probation. It'll be great. He's going to follow the rules. You can't even follow the rules when you're locked up. What makes me think you're going to follow them when you're out? One incident report is a violation of your probation. Zero tolerance. So you're going to have to prove to me while you're waiting in jail. In addition, while you're waiting in jail to go to Hardin County, if I find out you misbehave in Hardin County, any of those things are going to be violations of your probation. Do you understand? A condition of your probation is going to be that you follow the rules in our jail, in Hardin County Jail, and in ISF. Whatever those rules are. It's not going to be cussing at and calling names to the correctional officers who are just there doing their job. It's not going to be fighting. It's not going to be hiding things in your whatever. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Because you may never see the light of day. You're going to be right back in here on a motion to revoke your probation. And because this is a second-degree felony, if you are back in here, the range of punishment, if I find that you violated your probation, is minimum 2 up to 20 years in prison. You understand that? Okay. If you take advantage of this opportunity and change the way you're acting, and are you successful on this probation, this is your chance of a lifetime today, because you do not have a conviction on your record. You're not a convicted felon. And at the end of the probation period, if you're successful, the case gets dismissed. You'll never be a convicted felon. The other side, again, though, one hiccup. You're on zero tolerance from the beginning on this. You're back in here with the motion to revoke and going to prison. Do you understand? They were so frustrated with you that they said they will not do a pre-sentence report while you're on bond. So do you know what that means?
My bond has to be paid off.
No, that means I'm going to revoke your bond.
Okay.
And you're going to go to jail.
Yeah.
And then they're going to come to the jail and do the pre-sentence report. And you're going to be respectful to them. Or I don't have to go along with this plea agreement.
Yes, ma'am.
So listen, it's time to get a whole different attitude about all of this. I understand. I remember now when you were here, you don't like the whole situation.
No,
hang on. Don't overtalk me, because that's going to show me what you're doing to them. Okay. Now it's just the time to listen.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And just do what you're told. There's not an excuse for what you did. That's not, you didn't just try to ask for some information. Okay. They wouldn't have sent this. They're very, very patient.
I just want to let you know I got a whole different view about it on the whole situation now too. I just got to meet my son for the first time on Friday. So
well, this is very unfortunate.
Yeah.
So but here's the thing. There's no reason for you to still not get this probation, but I don't have a choice now but to get this pre-sentence report done. So I'm going to, hang on. I'm going to revoke your bond. In your case at this time, you're going to go with the bailiff. Probation's going to come to the jail. They're going to do this pre-sentence report. Probably not today.
do I get a new bond today?
I'm not giving you a bond because you couldn't act right while you were on bond, which shows me that you see where I'm.
Yeah, can we just like revoke the deal and take it to trial? I can't afford to go to jail, please.
You're going to jail regardless. Why?
Yeah,
because do you want me to read the memo?
Yeah, the whole thing. Yeah, can we play the voice recordings of the phone call in here today too, if that's the case? Because if you're just going to believe what she says, then I believe I have the right to fight on behalf of what I have to say, and we need to be able to play those phone recordings.
You're going to go do that. You're going to go do that pre-sentence report.
Phone recordings today.
And you're going to go and hopefully be respectful and hopefully get this probation and not ruin your life over this.
Oh,
this is very.
How long do you think I'll be in there?
It's a very temporary situation. Mr. Rojas can come back and talk to you. I'm revoking your bond at this time. I find it's in the best interest until sentencing that there not be a bond. You can go back with the bailiff.
He pulls a gun on a 14-year-old kid and steals not only that kid's dirt bike, but also a small amount of cash from that 14-year-old. The PSI indicates that 14-year-old is so traumatized by this that he can't even attend public school anymore, Judge. when he was apprehended with that stolen dirt bike, there was a vehicle associated with this defendant. And in that vehicle were other subjects who had 4 firearms in that vehicle, Judge. And as if that was not bad enough, he goes on to brag about this criminal activity on social media. And if that wasn't bad enough, Judge, he goes on to taunt the victim of the UUMV on social media as well. Judge, he is youthful. I'll acknowledge that. He does not have any adult criminal history, Your Honor. I will acknowledge that. But, Your Honor, what he has engaged in is beyond the pale. He needs prison time, in my opinion, Your Honor. And that's what we're asking this court to do. If somehow, in any way, shape, or form, the court's considering community supervision, we'd ask for shock probation, some prison time up front, and then shock him out on community supervision. Judge, again, this is just beyond the pale. And I think the PSI speaks for itself. Thanks, Judge.
What I feel like I have to do to you young people. But we are in Jefferson County tired of young people running around here with guns. You put a gun to somebody's head. We're lucky you haven't killed somebody because that's the path you're on. You've had opportunities at probation, and unfortunately, those haven't worked. You've actually already had 2. You were sent to TJJD, you got out, you still committed offenses, and then you got probation again, and then you're here. So all this talk of I want to do right and I'm going to do better is just a bunch of baloney. The way you can't follow the rules in jail shows me same pattern. You can't follow the rules. So at this time, in cause number 23 DCCR 0993, I'm going to find sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and at this time find you guilty of unauthorized use of a vehicle. I'm going to sentence you to a term of 2 years in the state jail prison. You will receive credit on that sentence for any time that you've been in custody that the law gives you the right to receive. In cause number, and these were all just open. So in cause number 23, DCCR 0991, I'm going to find sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and at this time find you guilty of evading arrest or detention with the use of a vehicle. I'm going to sentence you to a term of 10 years in the Institutional Division of the Texas Department of Corrections. You will receive credit on that sentence for any time that you've been in custody that the law gives you the right to receive. In cause number 23, DCCR 0992, I'm going to find sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and at this time find you guilty of aggravated robbery. Sentence you to a term of 25 years in the Institutional Division of the Texas Department of Corrections. You will receive credit on that sentence for any time that you've been in custody that the law gives you the right to receive. I am making an affirmative weapon, finding of a deadly weapon. These cases will run concurrently, which means together at the same time. So I am denying the state's motion to accumulate, which is a gift to you. I am going to grant the state's motion to forfeit the weapon, which is a Taurus Millennium G2 pistol bearing serial number TIP 10158. I'm going to hand you, I need there should be an admonishment showing that I signed it. There wasn't a plea agreement, but I don't see one printed out. Mr. Chopin, I take no pleasure in giving out a sentence like this, but I feel like what I have to do is protect Jefferson County from people like you who have continued to show that you're just a danger and becoming more and more of a danger instead of learning from the opportunities that you've been given. You will be handed in just a minute a trial court certification in each of your cases that shows these weren't agreements, so you do have rights to appeal, and you can talk to Mr. Lewis about that. I hope you take advantage of any programs. You're still young. You're going to get out of prison and you're going to be young still and have a lot of your life ahead of you. I hope what you do while you're in prison is do what you're saying you really want to do, is get your life together.
Yeah, I'll be brief. Whether it's the Pine Club Apartments or Rogers Park or a Speedy Mart, you've seen this, and we've seen this in this community all too often. I'm preaching to the choir, Judge. Prayer vigils and advisory committees, all that stuff's fine, but you, Judge, are where the rubber meets the road. you are that person that can protect the community from somebody like this defendant. You are that person that can either let him walk out of this courtroom on probation with a piece of paper with conditions and promises that he won't resort to this kind of violence that you saw on that video, or you can ensure that the community is safe by putting him behind steel bars, concrete wall, and razor wire fence. I'm just asking, I'm not in the habit of begging, but on behalf of this community, I'm begging that you send this defendant to prison. The message that needs to be sent to this defendant and his circle of friends and anybody who would want to be like this defendant is that if you pick up a gun with the intent to commit violence, you're going to pick up a 15, 20, 25-year prison sentence, Judge. And I'm just asking that you do this on behalf of people who live at the Pine Club apartments, who just want to live in peace, people who want to go take a walk at Rogers Park and not be robbed, and somebody that wants to stop at a Speedy Mart convenience store and pick up some snacks without becoming a victim of a robbery. That's all I have, Judge.
Thank you, Mr. Coleman. So, Mr. Fontenette, there was a time some years ago that there really wasn't even a question. Everyone, state's attorneys were recommending youthful offenders, probation, let's give everybody an opportunity. And things have just changed in such an incredibly dangerous way with young people doing what I just saw you do on that screen. I cannot imagine the fear that person had that was working in that store, that he now has just trying to go to work, make a living, and go home. And he has 3 people come in and not just grab a little quick something and run out, but terrorize him for quite some time. Pulling him around, yanking him around, putting guns in his face, all 3 of you. I also, in addition to the PSI, get jail incident reports. And you apparently like to fight and jump people, which is what's been happening in the jail. So it makes it very difficult for me to go, oh, this is somebody that's going to get out and behave, who can follow the rules, because you can't even follow the rules in jail. And the pre-sentence report shows that you're a high risk level, which tells me that after they've looked at everything, that you don't have, unfortunately, a good likelihood of being successful if I were to put you on probation. And Mr. Coleman's right. We're tired of it. And there's got to be something done. So in cause number 25, DCCR 1759, I'm going to find that you entered your plea of guilty freely and voluntarily. I'm going to find sufficient evidence to find you guilty. And at this time, I'm going to find you guilty of aggravated robbery. I'm going to sentence you to a term of 25 years in the institutional division.
Come on, Mom. Carrot.
I'm going to sentence you to a term of 25 years in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Corrections. You will receive credit on that sentence for any time that you've been in custody that the law gives you the right to receive. I'm handing you the trial court certification. This was not an agreement. You have some rights to appeal. I have also handed you a written admonishment regarding your ineligibility to possess a firearm or ammunition. Because of the judgment entered against you, you're ineligible under Texas law to possess a firearm or ammunition. Possession of a firearm or ammunition could lead to charges against you. You can talk to Mr. Rojas about any questions you have about that. I am making an affirmative finding of a deadly weapon. Mr. Fontenette, I understand that this is harsh, and I know you believe this is harsh, but I think this is necessary. I hope that you go and you make things right. You can get out of prison. You're still going to be young, and you can make your life better. That's going to be up to you, okay? You can go back with the bailiff. I kept messing up. I mean, seriously, you got the initial probation in 2021. You got you got SafeP. You got some upfront time because of the Harris County issue. Didn't revoke you, haven't revoked you. 3 times haven't revoked you. And here we are with all of these violations.
In your TVCJ program, I was doing what I needed. The only time I had issues when I had the foot problem that I got from the halfway house. That's the only reason they said I absconded from the TDCJ program.
Okay.
I've actually done well through the program, through with the supervised division. The only time I messed up is when they stopped supervising me and made me go do these things by myself.
Well, I mean, how old are you? How old are you?
I'm 43.
43 years old.
And I have no felonies on my record except for this.
That doesn't mean anything. You have this felony and you have 6 years hanging over your head. And you've been given all the tools. You went to SafeP. You got to aftercare. At some point, you have to take those tools and do for yourself and not come in and say, well, they made me do it for myself, so it's somebody else's fault that I kept drinking. We gave you the tools.
If I can get
We're done. At this, we're done. No, we're done. At Mr. Mendoza, turn around. You can say whatever you want, but you're going to face me and you're going to get your sentence. And if at this time I could give you more, I would, I promise you, but I can't. So I'm going to find that you entered your pleas of true to counts 1 through 13 freely and voluntarily. Find those counts true. Find sufficient evidence to revoke your probation, and at this time revoke your probation, sentence you to 6 years in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Corrections. You will receive credit on that sentence for any time that you've been in custody that the law gives you the right to receive. I'm going to hand you a certification of your right to appeal. This was not an agreement, so you do have some rights to appeal. Y'all need to sign that before you leave right now. You need to sign that you're getting a copy of it, and then we'll give you your copy, and then when you're done with that, you can go back with the bailiff.